Okay, slope. Let's define it first. What is slope? Yep, Cindy. Perfect. I love that definition. How steep a line is. Or it measures the steepness of a line. So that's the keyword, steepness. Okay. The more vertical of the line, the more steep it is. So for example, if I have a line like this and a line like this is more steep. Right? So you can think the more vertical, the more steep. The more steep. Sorry. The more steep. Let me turn off the lights because I think it's too bright. It's a little hard to see the projector. Is that better? Okay. No problem. Okay. Okay. There's for slopes. There is a formula. Okay, y equals mx plus b is not the slope formula, but that's still a very important formula. Y equals mx plus b represents a line. Represents a line. And which letter from here represents the slope? Sean? Which letter represents slope? Or Bella? M. Yeah, so M, YM. Can't you see the M in the spelling of slope? Yeah, so, but yes, M stands for slope. So the M stands for the slope, and there is a formula, or I say M, since it's the steepness, rise over run, good. Okay, so the M represents slope, that's the abbreviation for slope, and it's rise over run. Okay. You can also think of it as the difference in y over the difference in x. So if you're given 2 points, it's the difference in y over the difference in x. Okay. There's also a formula. Yeah. Most important formula you need to know. All right, who knows the formula for slope? Brian? We have that. Yeah.
Minus x2 over y1 minus y, no, y2 minus y1.
Okay, I like that. You guys have the right idea. But remember, it's the difference in y. So what should be on the top? The y's, right? So y2 minus y1 over difference in x. So x2 minus x1. Given the 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2. Shane. Hi. Hi. I would say she needs to finish up in the next 5 minutes because, if you can just ask her to submit what she has, and then I'll mark what she has. Okay. So, and then in terms of slopes, let's draw a few diagrams there. Okay. I'm going to draw 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to draw 4 lines. If you have a line going this way, okay, we say this has a positive slope. Okay. So if my line goes this way, it has a negative slope. Okay. What about a horizontal line? For a horizontal line, John? 0, right? This has a 0 slope. All right, and just in terms of the terminology, all right, so horizontal means across, like this way. And if it's a vertical means this way. Right? So these are your like x and y axes. So x axis, y axis, x y axis, y axis. Okay, so that you can see where the lines are. So for vertical slope, there's a fancy name for vertical slopes. Brian? Undefined. Okay. On your next test, I definitely gonna ask about these: positive, negative, 0, and undefined. So make sure you know the spelling. Make sure you know that. Okay, let's try it out. Let's see if you guys understand and can remember the 4. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna spin my. Good.
Negative.
Good. Undefined. Good. Good. Good job. Okay, good. So it's always the 4. Now that why I'm doing this is very important. If you see a line that's going this way, you know that your slope should be positive. So when you do the calculation and you see that you got a negative number, it tells you that you made a mistake. Okay, very important. And when I give you an equation and you see that the graph and you see that m is negative, then you should be expecting a line that goes this way when you draw it. All right, so that is like crucial. It saves a lot of people if you're careful enough. It will tell you that you made a mistake and you hopefully catch it. Okay, so let's try these out. Given these lines right here, let's find the slope of each line. So what letter do we use to represent slope again? Yep, Cindy? M. So since I have so many lines, we can write this in a subscript. So MAB tells me that I'm finding the slope of this line between point A and point B. Right? So remember, it was rise over run. That was one of the formulas. So here's a trick that I always use to teach my kids. So going from the point left to right. So going from the left to the right point. So Annie wants to visit Brianna. Okay, they live in the same apartment building. So Annie has to first take the elevator. So Annie, when you get in the elevator, what are you gonna do? Up. How many floors? 4. Right, you go up 4. So that's your rise. So you always go in the elevator first. And then once you get out of the elevator, Brianna, you are which unit to the right of it? 2. Yeah, there you go. So go up the elevator, and she is the second door on the right. So 4 over 2. You can reduce that. 4 divided by 2 is just 2. Therefore, the slope of this line, 2. Okay. Let's try C and D. Slope CD. So let's say Cyrus is gonna visit Danny. Huh? Oh, Diction. Yes. Thank you. I was thinking who in the class has C and D. Okay. So they live in the same apartment building. Cyrus is in the elevator now. What are you gonna do once you're in the elevator? Are you going up or going down? Down. You're going down. How many floors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how do I show as a number that I'm going down 6? Negative. Right. So negative 6 over. Once Cyrus get out of the elevator, Diction lives how many units to the right? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 6 over 4. But can I reduce that? Negative 3 over 2. Okay, and notice here, my line is this direction. It's negative. My slope is negative as well. It's okay. I'll submit it for her. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's okay. I'm just finishing the lesson right now. I'll be done in a minute. It's okay. She can get her stuff. Yeah, she can come back to the class to grab her bag. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay. Yeah. So you see how this line is negative, and you got a negative answer. That's a good sign. Next one, EF. Slope EF. This line right here. Okay, and notice for my line right here, it doesn't have to be the endpoints. It could be any 2 points on that line. Okay, any 2 points on that line. Just like right here, negative 3 over 2. If I went down 3 over 2, notice I land on this line as well. Yeah, so no matter which 2 points you choose on that line, the slope is the same for the whole line. Okay, so just like right here, I'm not choosing the endpoints, I'm choosing these 2 points. So E. Anyone have an initial E? E. All right, so Elaine is visiting Frank. Okay, they live on the same floor. So does she need to go in the elevator? Yeah, so she went in the elevator and realized, oh wait, Frank lives on the same floor. So I'm not going up or down the elevator. So what should my rise be? 0. And then she realized, oh, Frank is just 2 units down, 2 units over. Right, so 0 over 2. And what is 0 over 2? 0. Which is what we said. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. Okay, last one. Slope of GH. Okay. So George is finding Henry. Okay. H. Yeah. So George is in the elevator, and then what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it goes down 5. So my number is negative 5. And once that elevator opens, oh, hi, Henry. Henry's in the came in the elevator. So what's my run? 0. Try it on your calculator. What's negative 5 over 0? Math error. Undefined. And so that's why vertical lines, undefined. Horizontal line, zeros. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, makes sense. So next time you go in the elevator, you're gonna think about slopes. Okay, so one last example that I want to do, and then you should be able to do everything. So I just want to do one where let's try this one, number 2H on the back, where you're given 2 coordinates. So if I ask you to graph every single line segment, you're gonna say Miss Ching is crazy. Okay, so instead, that's why we have the formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, you guys told me this formula. Make sure you use this formula and not change it up, not make it your own, because it won't work if you make it your own. This is my first point. Point P is my first point. What comes first in the alphabet? X or Y? Sing the alphabet song if you need. X always comes before Y. If you need to, sing the song on the test. MNOPQRSTUVW X, Y, and Z. Okay, so that's how I teach my students the order, because they always mix it up. So X always comes before Y in the alphabet song. This is my first point, so this is X1, Y1. This is my second point. Again, X always comes before Y. This is my second point, so X2, Y2. So let's substitute the numbers in. What number is Y2? 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 3. 3. All right, so 3. Subtract. What is Y1? Negative 2. Okay, over. What's X2? 4. And what is X1? Negative 6. Okay. Notice I put a lot of brackets around it. That's because whenever you substitute, you technically should have brackets. Okay. Why I use all those brackets is because here, minus makes a plus. So this becomes 3 plus 2, which is 5. And here, 4 minus negative 6 is 10. Okay, because the 2 negatives make a plus, so this becomes 4 plus 6. If you're not so good with your signs, remember you could use a calculator to help you. So can I reduce this? Any? Right. Oh, that's a common mistake that people do. Okay. Yeah. So remember, 10 divided by 5 is 2, but 5 divided by 10 is a half. So be very careful with that. So there we go. That means I didn't have to make a graph because I'm given the coordinates. I could just do it mathematically and figure out the slope. All right. If I were to graph these 2 points, which direction should it go? Positive. So rising to the right. Okay, and because my slope is positive. Okay, any question on today's lesson on slope? Okay, so I think they're going to call us down any minute now. So once we come back from the assembly, please do try all of these. I will do homework check on Monday because slope is such an important lesson. All right. So this one, number 1, since I gave you the graph, do rise over run. Number 2, do the formula. Number 3, table, and then answer the questions. All right?
Bring your classes down. Ensure you're seated